I never imagined a simple talk about size could turn my whole marriage upside down. My name's Daniel, I'm 38, and I've been married to Emily for 12 years. We weren't perfect, but we were steady, one of those couples people looked at and assumed had life figured out. We had our share of ups and downs, but I believed what we had was built on trust, respect, and a deep kind of intimacy that only grows stronger over time. I couldn't have been more wrong. It began harmlessly enough. One evening, Emily came home from work with that mischievous grin I knew all too well, the one that meant she was about to stir something up. I could tell she had something brewing, but I wasn't prepared for what came next. She dropped her purse on the floor, leaned against the kitchen counter, and asked in the most casual tone, "Dan, have you ever wondered if size really matters?" For a second, I froze, not out of insecurity, though maybe a little, but because I didn't see that question coming from her. Emily was playful, flirty, sure, but never like this. Size of what?" I asked, half laughing, trying to hide the awkwardness. She rolled her eyes, clearly entertained by my reaction. "Don't act clueless. You know exactly what I mean." I chuckled nervously, thinking she was just teasing, but the look in her eyes told me she wasn't joking. My pulse picked up. Something about her tone felt different, serious. "Okay," I said after a deep breath. "Do I need to answer honestly?" She nodded.
"Yeah."
"I want to know." I tried to stay calm. I'd always felt confident in our relationship, but that question suddenly felt like it had the power to tear it apart. And before I could ask what she meant, she turned and walked out. She didn't head for the bedroom or bathroom. She went straight to the garage and told me to meet her there in a few minutes. My stomach tightened with curiosity and unease. When I finally opened the garage door, I saw her standing there with a measuring tape in her hand and a small notepad tucked under her arm. My first thought? She's got to be kidding. But one look at her face told me she wasn't. "Come here," she said, motioning for me to stand still. She circled me slowly, muttering to herself and jotting things down like some kind of scientist. "Is this for an experiment?" I joked, trying to break the tension. She didn't even crack a smile. Her focus was sharp, almost intimidating. Then she said something I'll never forget. "I need to see it for myself." I froze. My brain scrambled to catch up. Did she really just say that? Before I could respond, she handed me a small black velvet box. My gut twisted. Whatever this was, I wasn't sure I wanted to know. "Open it," she said softly, almost gently. My hands trembled as I lifted the lid, only to find it completely empty. My eyes shot up to hers, confused. "That's it?" I asked quietly. She nodded. That's all I needed to see. I just stood there, trying to make sense of what had just happened. This wasn't a joke or a prank, it was something deeper. She wasn't testing me physically. She was testing us. In that moment, I could feel a shift, though I didn't yet understand it. Something had changed. She handed me the measuring tape, gave a faint smile, and walked back inside, leaving me standing in the silence of the garage. My thoughts were spinning. This wasn't about insecurity. It was about curiosity, connection, maybe even the quiet cracks we'd been ignoring in our marriage. When I followed her back into the house, the air felt heavy. Emily was in the living room, arms crossed, her eyes scanning me like she was searching for something invisible. "Daniel," she said softly but with that same firmness in her tone, "come here." I obeyed, my heart pounding. This time, she lifted her phone and played a video, something that looked random at first, a model showing off some product. But then it hit me. The whole thing was planned. The comments she'd been making lately, the little hints, they were all part of this setup. "What is this?" I asked, cautious. She smirked slightly, a glint of mischief in her eyes. "It's a comparison. And you, Daniel, are the one being measured." My chest tightened. Part of me felt challenged, another part nervous, unsure of what game I was playing. Then she said, "I want to know if size really matters in the small ways." I blinked. "Small ways?" She nodded.
"Yeah."
"It's not what you think. It's about effort, attention, and presence. How much you bring into this marriage every single day. I've been teasing about the big stuff, but tonight, I want to know what really counts. Relief washed through me, but it was tangled with something else. She had tricked me into thinking this was a physical test, when really it was about emotional weight. So, what now? I asked carefully. She smiled, an honest one this time, and motioned toward the dining table.
Sit.
I'll ask questions. You answer truthfully. We sat across from each other. Her first question cut straight through me. When was the last time you felt fully responsible for our happiness? I paused, thinking hard. Honestly, it's been a while. I've been working, paying bills, taking care of things, but I haven't really checked if you were happy. I just assumed I was doing enough. She nodded slowly. That's exactly why I did this. You do a lot, Daniel, but sometimes effort becomes invisible when you stop noticing the little things that matter. Her words hit deeper than I expected. This wasn't about size at all, it was about the heart, attention, and presence I'd stopped giving. I get it, I said quietly. I wanted to be your provider, your rock, but maybe I forgot that being present matters just as much. She reached out, laying her hand on mine.
Exactly.
Love isn't just measured in what you do, it's in how closely you notice, how intentionally you show up. Do you think you can start doing that again? She asked softly. I swallowed hard and nodded.
Yeah, I can.
I will. For the first time that night, I saw something soften in her eyes, a mix of relief, pride, and warmth. She had challenged me, not to humiliate me, but to wake me up to what I'd been missing. We spent the next hour talking honestly. No sarcasm, no walls. We laughed, disagreed gently, admitted our mistakes. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. And in that raw honesty, I realized something simple but powerful. Sometimes the smallest acts of attention carry the biggest weight in love.